I'm sitting in for Nancy Lipson tonight, who's our chairperson. Um, so let's get in the meeting is September 25th of the Housing and Community Equity Development Commission. And why don't we take a roll call? Go around. Karen Britton,
Here.
Patrick Sheridan,
Here.
Rich Halverson,
Present.
and I think Eric. I think that Elijah Herrick Blaine is not here tonight. He couldn't come, so I think that's everybody that's present.
Great.
Now, the minutes of 2 minutes we haven't approved, April 24th and June 26th. Can I have a motion to approve those?
So approved.
A second?
Second.
Thank you, Patrick. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Great, they passed. So we have next item is new business, and oh, everybody's here. Eric's here. Great. So, and thank you, Harry, for coming tonight.
Hey, Harry, congratulations.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. I'm coming to you live from Blazers Bourbons and Cigars at the Baker House.
Oh, that's right.
That's pretty much fun. I have to say how excited we are about this bill. I don't know if you know that last year we tried to do something a little more complicated and it didn't get very far. So we're really glad that this ordinance has been, I'm speaking for me, but I think I'm speaking for the commission as well, that it's been proposed. So with further ado, I'll just let Eric and Harry take over and talk about the bill.
Sure. Well, Eric can maybe give you the slightly more technical version, but let me talk a little bit from the heart and give you the story version of it. So I grew up in a duplex, and when I was 3 years old, my parents bought both sides of a duplex in Baltimore, one of which had been renovated recently, and the other one was on the verge of collapse. And so first 10-ish years of my life were helping fix up that house, watch my dad put in copper pipes or this, that, the other. It's a really great way to build wealth. It's a great way to have additional housing types. Now that they have fixed it up, it's sort of one side of the house is where they live. The other side is split into where my mom has a business and an apartment. So I understand this need for Annapolis to reallow the kinds of historic housing that we've had, because that's not unique to Baltimore. In fact, it is much more common in Annapolis. For a long time, we've had this paradigm where the duplexes that used to be where working families would live could get combined into one rich single-family home, and there was no way for single-family homes to get split into duplexes. So we had this terrible ratchet strap that was destroying so much of our affordable, without a capital A, housing stock, or workforce housing, which I think is what you were alluding to there, Terry. Mm-hmm. So one night I was perusing the city code, as I do, and literally came across this part in the R2 zoning code that says duplexes are allowed if they meet essentially all the requirements to look like a single family house, right? The setback requirements, the bulk requirements, these things that we think are important for neighborhood character. And they were built before 1970. I thought, this is a very minimal change. This is a very simple change. Let's strike those 4 words that say built before August 13th, 1970. And so that's really all this bill does, is say that we're going to reallow within the R2 zone this historic land use. R2 zone is about 60% of the city. It's, if you walk around Murray Hill, if you walk around Germantown, if you walk around some of the R2 parts of Eastport, you see, once you have an eye for it, duplexes are all over the place. We just don't allow any new ones. So the goal of this bill really is to say that ratchet should be able to go in both directions, right? If we want to convert duplex into single family homes, we should also be able to convert those single family homes into duplexes. It's just giving that allowance. And then partially at the Planning and Zoning Department's suggestion, and partially for some reasons of not freaking anybody out too much, we've limited it only to double lots, only to lots that are twice as big as is required for one house. So that means that does not apply to every lot in the R2 zone. It only applies to those particularly big ones. But that's still potentially about, I think the staff report said something like 800 lots across the city. So that's potentially 800 housing units that could come online. And again, we're not talking about subsidized when I say affordable housing, but the type of housing that's a starter home, the type of family housing that a young family, that a young professional could actually afford to buy. And that historically has been what the working class in our city have lived. So that's the story and the heartwarming side of it. Happy to turn it over to Eric if he has anything else to add. And then I can take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alderman. I don't have too much more to add. I'm not coming to you all from as exciting of a place. I'm just in my car. But I just reinforce that the idea behind this legislation was thoroughly in our comprehensive plan that was adopted. We had a lot of content in that about the kind of character of housing, the housing diversity that has historically defined Annapolis, which includes wide variety, single family homes, attached, detached, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, and so forth. And the idea of legalizing a duplex is, I would say, very Annapolis. It is part of our history, and it's a very incremental change to our zoning code that, as the Alderman said, it won't impact every property in the R2 zone, about 800 out of the 3,000 or so properties. So, we see this as just another tool to enable us to address our housing goals. It won't be enough, but it's one thing, and we need more policy changes. This is just one policy change that could have a measurable impact. And you might remember a map that was in the comprehensive plan that showed just how much of the city is zoned for residential use that does not allow for a duplex. That extends beyond the R2. I mean, that includes other zoning districts. It's a very significant part of the city. More, probably close to 70% of the city. So this will help address some of that. It's not going to impact every property, but I think in a lot of it, this is something we did the mapping. Every neighbor in the city would benefit from this. So it's sensible legislation from our perspective. Happy to answer any questions that the Alderman can't. So,
And I think I'm talking to fellow travelers here. If you guys are on this commission, I think you care about making housing affordable. But let me just address a few of the myths that have cropped up around this, because there has been some things that people have said that are incorrect. So the first one was that this is going to allow duplex in the historic district. Well, first of all, within the historic district, duplexes are allowed throughout much of the
I'm in one and it's great.
Yeah, I used to live in one too. Now I'm slightly outside of the historic district. But actually, no, there is no R2 zone within the historic district. So this really doesn't do anything in the historic district at all. Another was just the magnitude of the number of properties. I had someone say 1,000 homes in Murray Hill are going to get bulldozed. I was like, well, you heard from Eric already. This affects 800 properties throughout the city. And within Ward 1, I don't know the other wards, but it's really only somewhere between 50 and 100 within Ward 1. And then one other thing, everybody in Annapolis wants to consider parking, and understandably so. It's worth noting that duplexes are required to have twice as much parking as single-family homes are. And that brings me to the last thing I have to say on this, which is my own chief complaint about this legislation is that in many ways it doesn't go far enough. We're trying to take one step forward. I think it's a meaningful step, but I'll be the first one to say that it doesn't go far enough. And there's a lot more we can do to expand the diversity of our housing. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Anybody have questions? No questions? Okay. Well, actually, thank you so much for sharing that information, because friends are telling me misinformation, so I can correct them now. I think that's huge. And we want to work with our elected officials and our staff to come up with ideas and legislation. So please use us, please work with us, and we want to work with you. I guess that's the big thing. We too think we'd like to go further. We've talked to Eric about ways we could, some that kind of didn't get much traction, but it was always when the new comp plan was going to be approved. It's been approved now, so we should be able to try and move forward. So thank you so much.
Well, back at you. Never hesitate to reach out if you, like me, have an idea in the middle of the night about how to increase housing. Just send me a quick email. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Just saying, Harry, I was looking at this part of the code. Does this thing make sense? And we can go from there. We can explore it. I love when I hear from people occasionally like, oh, I was in Paris and I saw this. Can this be legalized in Annapolis? Never hesitate to just shoot me a quick message on those things. I'd really appreciate it.
Did you see the legislation that we did sponsor? I can't even remember when it was, 2 years ago? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about the workforce housing bill, right?
Yeah, because the fear that we had is that new construction to be affordable might not be affordable unless you put some things in to help the price stay down. Right. That was one of the things that we were trying to work on, and I think that I know Nancy talked, our chair talked about there's ways we could have improved it to maybe make it more palatable to folks. So I think that that's still something that we could work on, hopefully.
I hope that I'm around in 2 months to do exactly that with you. I would love to.
We hope so too. Anybody else? Any questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. I know you guys are doing other things today, so we truly appreciate you stopping by and telling us about the bill. And we look forward to supporting it. I guess that's the question I have. In writing, come to testify. What are the best ways to show support and help?
So certainly any of you who can come and testify on Monday, that would be really appreciated. Monday is a public hearing on this. And then if the commission itself wanted to issue a letter of support, I think that would be great. I feel really hopeful about this bill. I think we do have a good 6 or 7 yes votes on it. Even some of the folks who I know have not previously been supportive, I think understand that this is in line with the comp plan and is a reasonable change. So I'm optimistic about its chances of passage, but I would love to get your guys' support adding to that chorus.
Well, we certainly can do that letter, and I'll talk to folks here to see if anybody can testify on Monday.
Yeah,
Sure.
where is the bill in the process? Is this the first reading or?
I don't think it's the first reading, it's the public hearing, right?
Correct. Yes. Monday is the public hearing. It got introduced a while ago. It went to the planning commission. They gave it a unanimously favorable recommendation.
Right.
And now it's back for public hearing. And then we'll go to, excuse me, to the Rules and City Government Committee.
Okay, well, we'll promote someone attending if they can on Monday night.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm going to tap out, and I hope you have a great rest of your meeting.
You too. Thank you.
Have fun.
Oh, Bill.
Thanks, Eric.
Eric, have
Yeah.
fun in the car.
I'm actually at
Get out of it.
volleyball practice, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, by all means, for boards and commissions to support legislation, you should take action and just submit a letter of support, or, that would be appropriate, I think.
Okay.
It would go on the record, so to speak, for the legislation. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy
All right.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course we want to. That's the minimum we can do. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Good seeing you all.
Good seeing you.
Bye.
Well, I'll just follow up on that. Can anybody go Monday night?
I can.
Yay, Karen. Okay. All right. And then I can work with Nancy and anybody else. Anybody want to draft a letter of support?
Yes.
Oh, you can do it all? Okay.
No, I mean, oh, sorry. Whoa. I mean, am I interested in joining in? Yes.
Rich, anybody?
I can help start it off and
Okay, great. And we'll
pass
bring
around.
Nancy. We'll bring Nancy in too. She we'll bring her in. So that would be good. So maybe I'm sure Eric would have comments too. So all right. So I
Well,
guess
I am, let me just add that I am Ward 1. I live in a duplex, and so I'm happy to testify on behalf of the bill. So if you have any talking points you'd like me to add, because I mean, that'd be helpful. I mean, I know I can speak for myself, but anything you can add would be great.
okay. So send them your way. Comments. Okay, great. And I'm in Elijah. I keep calling Elijah Eric. I apologize. Anyway, so I know Elijah probably has some comments too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll email him. All right. So we'll move on to the next item. And that's Adam Strott, who's the new Economic Development Manager and Community Development. And why don't you can introduce yourself, Adam, and then we can introduce ourselves. But if you have any goals or anything you want to share with us, go ahead for your new job.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, I appreciate the introduction. So I am the new Economic Development Manager. Well, it's not officially part of my title. I am taking over the responsibility of community development as well. I actually come from another jurisdiction in the state of Maryland. That's Allegheny County. I was born and raised in Annapolis, but spent 4 years out west, where I was working on issues surrounding community development as well as economic development. I ran a number of grant programs, including one for adaptive reuse of historic buildings in our the downtowns and main streets throughout Allegheny County, and most recently, one that's undergoing construction right now, but a large, affordable market rate housing project, which is a public-private partnership with home builder D.R. Horton to develop 65 new homes, sort of an innovative model where we use surplus land and then actually acted as a horizontal developer. So a land developer putting in the infrastructure, all the major grading, and then conveying the lots over to the home builder with an exclusive land development agreement that requires them to sell them at certain prices. So thus controlling the cost, but allowing for the developer to also create enough profit to justify the investment. So it was a win-win. Target prices on those homes are somewhere in the mid 200s. These are single family homes that,
That's great.
yeah, they're the same product that's sold in Frederick. They're the same product that's sold in parts of Anne Arundel County, which could go for double or more, 2.5 times more. So I'm hoping to maybe look at that model and see how we might be able to apply it here. Probably not to the same extent. Annapolis is a little more, significantly more dense than Allegheny County, which is highly rural. But between the adaptive reuse and stimulating new market rate housing, and then working with Denise on the affordable housing side and our partners such as HACA, I look forward to kind of melding those two sides, economic development and community development, creating opportunities, for those Annapolitans that are, living within, certain communities that have dealt with generational poverty, escaping that poverty and creating social mobility and long-term wealth for those communities. So that's the goal right now. I'm working on a economic development strategic plan, and housing will play a very large role in that as well. So I welcome any suggestions and input from the members of this board, and I hope to be an asset for it as well. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Adam.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So folks want to go around and introduce themselves? Your backgrounds. So Adam kind of knows what resources he has available to him if he chooses to use us. Patrick, you can start.
Yeah, I'm Patrick Sheridan, retired, but a lot of interactions with local housing activities. I'm a board commissioner for HACA, also on Homes for America's board, and also another national nonprofit that does housing nationwide. 23 years with the federal government in rural housing service. The last position I had there, I was running the multifamily housing programs for them. Also a couple of years with CDA, housing management director. But then I kind of finished my career as the EVP for housing for Volunteers of America, which is what I'm on the board of now for the nationwide housing. So the one thing I do have to add to the group that I hope Melissa doesn't get mad at me is that we heard this morning that we got an award of 9% tax credits for Robinwood for the redevelopment of that. So that is huge as far as funding source, as far as going forward. So really good to hear.
Well, I have to congratulations. The other thing I have to say is for a man that's retired, you're awfully busy.
I started to say that man is not retired.
Thank you, Patrick. Semi-retired, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
Rich, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Rich Alberson, originally from California. Actually graduated from Navy. I have 20-year reunions in about a month. And retired from the Navy and moved into industry, primarily in kind of affiliate companies. Spent the last 5 years running a public benefit corporation I founded to improve access to housing and home services for military families across the country. And I'm currently settled here in the area with my wife and young daughter.
Thanks. And we're lucky to have Rich. Thank you.
Yes, for sure.
Now, Karen, you get to go.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm kind of out of what, this commission was, but I got into it because in North Carolina, I worked for the United Way, and I was a landlord engagement specialist. It was all about housing, and started a program where we created housing and helped people create their own housing. And then I worked with the Lighthouse Shelter here in Annapolis as a landlord engagement coordinator. But now I am not so much in that industry, but still definitely interested and involved in staying committed to creating affordable housing, which I think is super important, especially, trying to bridge that gap from what people think affordable housing is, because they think it's subsidized housing, and say like, no, I work for the United Way, I work for the Lighthouse Shelter. This is the housing that people that do this work need. Housing, nonprofits, firefighters, police officers, teachers, all that. So happy to hopefully bridge that gap. All right. Last but not least, Terry.
You lie. Anyway, Adam, I was a planner. My career, I came back east to go to get a master's degree at GW. I worked for the county for a short period, and then I moved on to Prince George's and Park and Planning Commission, and I worked there for over 30 years. Did a lot of different things. So I try and bring some zoning expertise, so to speak, to the group, because I understand zoning, although I think most people on this commission understand zoning almost as well as I do. So, and then we have great staff. So that's the resources you have to work with. And we really we've been talking a long time about trying to work more closely with elected officials, and hopefully we can do that together. And so use us as a resource, please.
I will, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Yeah, I look
What about
forward
Denise?
to.
Did we get Denise?
You did well. Go ahead, Denise.
Yeah.
I work with Adam every day, so he knows all about me.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But
Hi,
she's a bright
Adam.
line, maybe not.
Hey, Denise.
It's nice to meet you.
Yep. I feel like I've known you so long already, Denise.
And
Yeah.
we found out tonight before we went live that she has another job. She's the mayor of Main Street. So
Wow. Now, see, Adam didn't know that.
I know, but he does now.
Yeah.
If you need to find her, it should be right outside Chicken Roost.
Yeah.
No, sir, that's not where you saw me. You saw me at the corner of Gorman and at the Pepper Palace.
Yes, you're right.
Don't be saying I'm hanging at Chicken Roost.
But then I guess I saw you the next time at Chicken Roost. My bad.
So anyway, Denise has kept us together over
Yeah.
the last couple of years. So we greatly appreciate her. Yeah.
I've learned a lot from them, Adam. Patrick and I, we kind of crossed paths but never met each other till I got to Annapolis.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thank
Well, I
you.
hope to learn just as much. Denise is a font of information. She's been helping me with this, settle in and with the transition. So hopefully
Great.
I'll be able to learn not only from her but from everybody here on the board. So
It's pretty great that you're native. So you know a lot about the town already, the city already, which is wonderful.
yeah, I've been
He's
away for a
super
while. but
smart.
yeah.
He's super, super smart. He's just putting on this. He's really a wealth of knowledge because I've been learning things from him since we've been working together, and he's just a breath of fresh air in the office. He really is. A lot of ideas.
Love that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Denise, for the kind words.
we look forward to that. That's great. All right, any other questions or ideas or things you want to talk about, folks? No? Well, I guess we could adjourn. Folks want to adjourn? Somebody want a motion?
All right, well, take a motion to adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second,
Great. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Great. Well, thank you all. It was a great meeting. Learned a lot of new things.